healthy doesn't just look like that. Your life doesn't have to look like all of these crazy things in perfectly designed packages with a bow on top to be healthy. And it's why you feel not aligned with yourself. It's why you don't feel like your best self, why you feel like you're not in control of your wellness, because you're comparing yourself to everyone else. And that's not going to be what is going to drive you to become that version. Hello, and welcome to Body Language by Embody You. I'm Annette Lane, and I'm so glad you're here. This show is where we take a step back from the shoulds and the should nots of social media and really learn what your body is saying and how to speak its language. We're going to dive into topics like gut health, birth control, cycle health, and give you real world, honest examples of what these actually might mean to you. My goal is to create a space that you can come back to whenever you need a reset or just don't know how to go forward. New episodes will be released weekly, and I cannot wait to take you along with this journey. Let's get started. Welcome back to another week and another episode of Body Language by Embody You. And today we are talking about the difference of being healthy and being obsessed, and what people think being healthy means, the signals that you can watch out for if you feel like you're becoming obsessed, and then how you're going to get yourself out of it and ways that you're going to actually avoid falling back into that mindset, because we know we're human and things come up again and we're not perfect. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We are going to start, like I said, talking about what people think being healthy means. And when I talk to people every day about the program or about their goals and things like that, people are always like, well, Annette, I eat healthy for a little bit and then I just stop. Like I can't continue, or I work out for 2 weeks and then I just like give up because I, miss a workout, or, my friends ask me to go to dinner and I just can't say no anymore. And I'm like, well, why isn't going out to dinner healthy? Okay. They're like, well, because I usually eat XYZ. And I'm like, well, what if you chose something that made you feel better or chose a better option, right? Or maybe healthy is actually being social and going and spending time with your friends and having what you want, and just, knowing that not every day looks like that. You don't eat like that every day, but when you do it here and there, it's not going to hurt you. You're the one putting this idea in your head that being healthy means you have to be perfect. And that's completely not the case. It is not about never missing a workout and eating perfectly clean and never doing anything outside of routine and being super disciplined to a point where you're becoming obsessive, because that's really the difference. And being healthy can mean a lot of different things. And I think the biggest thing that you cannot buy is happiness, and obviously being in a healthy body. So being in a spot where you feel super confident of who you are, what you look like, how you feel, that's healthy. And sometimes it takes a different way to get there. And I can tell you how you're not going to get there is through obsession. I also think a big one is like the pressure to look a certain way online and social media. People are always like, well, I'm motivated right now because it's summer and I see all these, girls in bikinis on Instagram. And I'm like, what has our reality come to? Like, what you might think looks healthy on the outside might actually just completely be controlled by guilt, obsession, fear, shame. You have no idea how some people reach this physique or reach, where they're currently at. And same goes with you. If you think being productive 24/7 looks healthy on the outside, and, you see these routines of, day in my life, and you're like, oh my God, what am I not doing? Like my days don't look like that. Well, that's okay. Maybe that's not what you're meant to do. Maybe that comes from a place of obsession or, feeling guilty if they don't do it. Maybe being productive 24/7 is actually not what's healthiest for you, and having rest and having that ability to reset and just take a step back is actually what's going to be really, really healthy and really hard for overachievers in the long run. The biggest way to decipher what the difference is between healthy habits and obsessive habits is really your intention behind them. A healthy habit would be something that's flexible, that allows you to enjoy your life, that comes from a place of self-respect, right? And it's not something where you feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, then something really bad's going to happen. Being obsessed with something comes from a place of having to be perfect, always having to achieve the most, never allowing yourself to rest or slow down, and feeling like you have to be a certain way to be loved and accepted. And that is just not the case. Your worth is not going to come from how much you can get done in a day. It's going to come from how good you feel internally about what you're doing in that day, right? How aligned do you feel with those actions? What are your intentions? Are they coming from a place of self-love and self-trust? Or are they coming from a place of like, I'm going to freak out if I don't do this. I feel like it's the only thing that makes me worthy is by being in control of this situation, of my food, of my workouts, whatever. That's obviously not going to get you to a spot where you're healthy and happy. This is a really hot take, but I think we have completely normalized disordered behavior if it comes in an aesthetically pleasing package. What do I eat in a day? Spend the morning with me. Realistic morning routine in my life. I'm sorry, but propping up your tripod to flip on your light switch, to walk into your kitchen, to move your tripod, to fill up your coffee is not realistic. That's not what your morning looks like, right? Your morning does not have to look like all these aesthetic influencers that live in $1 million homes with the crazy little special ice cubes and coffee machines. If you don't have that, that's okay. Healthy doesn't just look like that. Your life doesn't have to look like all of these crazy things in perfectly designed packages with a bow on top to be healthy. You can be the healthiest version of yourself and maybe not ideally look exactly like they do. Your routine might not look exactly like that. And that's okay, because that is completely curated. It's edited. It has fun transitions and it has nice music in the background. And they perfectly put their hair together and wore, everything to make it feel like their life is so put together. And social media is completely fraud in that way. And I am not saying I'm perfect by any means. Like, do I curate things on my pages? Do I, put things together and put music behind them or edit videos to splice them to? Absolutely, right? That's part of content creation. But also you have to remember while you're consuming these things, how much work went into behind the scenes and what people are actually doing when it comes to their daily life and not what they're just filming and putting out online. And the biggest thing that social media drives is comparison. And it's why you feel not aligned with yourself. It's why you don't feel like your best self, why you feel like you're not in control of your wellness, because you're comparing yourself to everyone else. And that's not going to be what is going to drive you to become that version. So let's talk about how to become that healthy version. What actually does that look like and how to be aligned with that higher self? Your wellness should add to your life and not be your entire life. So you are your person. You are, insert your name, before you are a gym rat, before you are whatever profession you are, before you are XYZ. Like, I'm Annette before I am the creator of Embody You. I'm Annette before I'm a gym girl who eats mostly clean and, focuses on her wellness. Yes, that's a part of who I am, but that's not all I am, right? I am not someone who's only this way and puts myself in one box, because that's where we get obsessive and we feel so out of it when we're not in that box. We're like, oh my gosh, I just, ate a piece of cake, or I just went out with my friends and had a couple of drinks. Like, I'm not myself in my box. I'm freaking out. And it's like, you don't have to be in your box. You don't have to be one version of yourself. You could be first on the dance floor, party girl, and wellness baddie who like never misses a workout and eats clean. You can be both people, and that's okay. And that's the beautiful thing, is you're not meant to be just one version of yourself. You should be able to have a life outside of your fitness and be able to trust your body of all of the things that you've learned when you were in routine, when you were in your box. So we tell girls this all the time. When you are someone who's, learning about nutrition, maybe you've learned to track macros, maybe you are hitting those goals, you're getting your workouts in, and then you go on vacation. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not in my same routine. What is about to happen? Am I going to lose all my progress? How am I going to keep progressing? You have to lean into self-trust and your intuition of everything you've learned from the time you've spent tracking your food, getting in the gym, waking up when you didn't want to, making your bed when you didn't want to. All of those things that you do when you don't want to do them, that is going to guide you in the times where you're not in a routine to do that. So when you're on vacation and you're out of routine, you can lean into that. Okay, what do I know about hydration, nutrition, my steps, right? What could I do that would keep me feeling good and keep me feeling like I'm on track, and not just saying all or nothing, throw it all away until Monday comes around. Because that analogy is like the tire analogy that I have explained before. Let's say you're driving down the road and you get a flat tire and you pull off and you're like, oh no, let me just slash all 4 of them. Let's just start from scratch. Let's just get all 4 brand new tires, instead of, hey, maybe I could fix this tire, get one replacement, or patch this up and be on my way. That is the all or nothing mindset when we say, oh my gosh, I spilt a little bit of milk while pouring my cereal. Let's just dump the whole carton out. It doesn't make sense in any way. But when we try to do it in our fitness journey, we try to make it make sense in our head. Like, I have to be 100% or else I'm not going to do it. And that's what's keeping you stuck. And so realizing you don't have to be perfect. You do not have to be 100% on all the time. You just have to know, how am I going to trust myself to not let myself steer so far away from my goals that I'm going to be very uncomfortable trying to get back to it? What are things that I can ground myself in and anchor that are just who I am, part of me, to carry me through this journey that might be a vacation or might be a time when I'm out of routine or sick. So how to tell if you're starting to become obsessive is when you can't take yourself out of that box, when you are avoiding things like going out to eat, or when your friends want to go out and get a drink for your friend's birthday. or, things like that. If you are truly avoiding them, not because you're like, I'm, locked in right now, like it's okay to be in a space where you're locked in. I've been in that many times where I've brought my own food. That's completely fine. I knew it wasn't coming from a place of, disordered eating. I could say, hey, I could do this, but I really want to work on these goals right now. I love myself so much that I want to see what my body can do, and I'm going to make sacrifices. And I'm, maybe going to go to the gym when I don't want to because I want to see my body do this. So it's not about being lazy or making excuses. It's about knowing the difference of like, if you truly cannot put the food scale away and you will freak out, that's obviously becoming obsessive to you, right? If you can't miss a workout without feeling like you're so guilty, you started from scratch, we're probably becoming a little bit disordered. There's a complete difference between being disciplined and being disordered. And so I want you to start asking yourself, is it something that I feel like I can't do anything but this? Am I being obsessed? And instead of self-trust, am I in that self-control mode? I need to control and control and control every single thing around me, or else I'm going to feel like I'm out of it, right? I'm going to feel like I'm not my best self. I'm not going to be happy. And so learning how to get yourself out of that and recognizing those signs and being like, okay, clearly I'm becoming a little bit obsessive about this. I'm going to take a step back, right? I'm going to, give myself some time to just calm my nervous system, come back to myself, remember my why, remember my, deeper meaning, leaning into self-trust and just exercising the fact that I know what I'm doing, right? Without all the data tracking, without all the measurements, without all of that, I'm just going to lean into my body, what it's telling me I need, and reteaching my mind that I know what that is. And I don't need some other objective measurement to tell me that. And every time this happens, it will get that much easier for you to be able to pull yourself out of this. I think a lot of times when we start to regress, we say, you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was past this. And it comes up again. It's like, hey, but you have everything in your tool belt to be more equipped than you were the time before because you've been through it, you've dealt with it, you've dug yourself out of it. And now you know, A, that you can, like it's not going to last forever. And B, you're going to know exactly how to. You're going to be like, oh, last time this happened, I did this. And instead of wasting a week wallowing in it, I'm just going to do that right away and pull myself right out. And so you start to, again, build that trust with yourself and build that, habit that, hey, if I run into this obsessive mindset again, or this obsessive mentality, what am I going to do? You're going to have those tools in your tool belt. The more you deal with it, you're going to become stronger. You're going to get better at it. And it's going to start happening less and less. The biggest question that you can ask yourself to determine this are my habits making me feel alive, or are they making me feel controlled? Simple as that. Are my habits making me feel like my happiest self, my best self, my favorite self, my highest energy self? Or are they making me feel like my smallest self, my most controlled self, my least confident self? What are my habits doing to me, and how are they making me feel? And that is what is going to guide you every single day to be in the highest alignment with yourself. If you are doing habits because they make you feel good, you will be who you want to be. If you are doing habits because they make you feel controlled, and you will feel crazy if you don't do them, you will not. And that is what we tell all of our girls, and why I love when our girls go on vacation or they take a little bit off and they're like, I can't wait to get back in my routine. It's going to feel so good to like get back to eating how I normally do and get back in the gym. And I'm like, hallelujah. Yes. Like that's the point. You're doing it because it's going to feel good. You're not doing it because like, holy crap, I need to do this. I'm obsessed, yada, yada. You're doing it because you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to make me feel so good to get back into it. There's such a difference. And so you need to ask yourself, what are my habits making me feel? And how can I adjust that so that they are the habits that make me feel the most alive? And to start making your habits feel like they're making you feel more alive, I want you to think of what you can add. Instead of always trying to take carbs away, restrict sweet treats, take, I want you to think of, what can I add? Could I add some more protein, some more fiber, some more color to my meal? Could I add in, maybe like a meditation session instead of, my workout this week that's going to just make me come back to myself? Could I add in more steps or more water to actually make me feel like my highest self? Could I add in more gratitude? I want you to start thinking in the abundance mindset, because when you come from the restriction end, you feel controlled. And that's when you start to feel all of these negative emotions, because being restricted, no one wants to feel restricted. That's like you feel claustrophobic. That's like when you feel like you're literally tied down to something. No one wants to feel that way. So it's why negative emotions come up for you when you think about going to the gym, when you think about healthy eating. You have a negative idea around that lifestyle, where you actually just need to look at how you're thinking about it. Instead of everything that I would need to take away to start this, what can I add to my life? What is going to help me feel better? What is going to make me that happy self? That's my healthy self, not my controlled self, not my smallest self, right? My strongest self, the person that it feels the most aligned, that's the most confident, that stands up for herself, that knows what she wants, that sets boundaries, that can say no to things. There's so many versions of you that are going to be so powerful if you can say, hey, I'm in alignment with that. I know exactly what I need. I know exactly what I want. And I am living to feel alive and not living to feel controlled. And that is the biggest thing when it comes to being obsessed versus being healthy, is all what you are intending by your actions. What you're intending by your habits are exactly what's going to come forward in your mood, in your appearance, in your energy, all of it. Your intentions start everything. So make a list, whether it be a list of ways you want to feel. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel happy. I want to feel confident, right? Or make a list of the things you want to add. I want to add in more steps to my day. I want to add in more water. I want to add in texting a friend every single day, a different friend it could be, or a family member, and just letting them know how I feel, how thankful I am. I'm going to add in a random act of kindness to a stranger. Little things like that that sound woo-woo are actually going to make a really big difference in just your overall well-being. And I think we control so much of our mental health, of our physical health. Yes, there are things that make a difference that, get in the way of that we can't control, but there's so much of it that we can control. And if you stay complacent and you stay choosing the same thing, you are never going to get a different outcome. So this is your sign and your opportunity to say, I'm choosing different because I want different. I want to feel different. I don't want to feel obsessed. I want to feel healthy and I want to feel happy. And I realize that it is not something that I just need to choose to be 100% in. I can just choose to be my happy self no matter what my day-to-day execution looks like, as long as I was aligned with it and knowing when I'm not and when I fall off, I will get right back on. And every time that happens, I will become so much more equipped for the next time I face that same exact struggle. So that is my big sister advice for you guys today, because there is a lot of things that can become obsessive in our industry and in this world. And I want you guys to know that you don't have to be victim to that, and you can choose what means the most to you, what makes you feel healthy, and what makes you feel happy. And I'm always a resource. As always, our application is linked below. If you even want to chat about the program, Hannah, what would it look like for me to join? What even is Embody You? How do I get started on these goals that might feel really far away right now? Fill out that application. We'll hop on a free 15-minute phone call. You're not signing up for anything, just more of a chat to know more about you, more about our program, and see if we would be a good fit. So, as always, from the teacher and me to the teacher and all of you, thank you so much for being here with me today. I will see you next week.